I'm here with Greg Curtis with the Good Earth Greenhouse, and today we're talking about azaleas, very popular around here. And you know, azaleas have changed over the last, I would say, a couple of decades. Not the same kind of azaleas that you used to get, say, even a generation ago.
Yeah, it's great. There's reasons and purposes for both of them. The old-fashioned azalea, which only blooms once, Jeff, and then we're standing in and mixed a bunch of encores that are finishing up their first bloom. They'll bloom again around mid-July and then put on a great bloom again in the fall. So what we're going to talk about this morning is what you have in your hand first off, and that's going to be an azalea food. Here at the Garden Center, we recommend Fertilome azalea food with systemics. The systemic's going to be an insecticide. You know, I talk about the insects that show up later on, but it's a slow-release fertilizer, so you get a little quick growth, and it's sustained after that. The biggest problem most people don't do is they don't fertilize enough. So every 30 to 45 days is what we recommend.
Well, especially if it blooms multiple times. Every time it blooms takes a lot of energy for the plant, so it needs to stay better fertilized.
Very good, it does. The other thing that people are wanting to know, when do I prune? So on the uncores, you can see this plant here in front of me is finished up blooming. So I'd be coming in, just hitting kind of the high spots right now, like that. And if I was going to, I know that's a lot, but that's going to come back out and look really nice. If I was going to use a pair of, gas ones, I just go right across the top. Now, the ones that we call the old-fashioned azaleas now, which is what I grew up with, you're going to prune those within that first 6 weeks after that first bloom. So a lot of those are blooming really nice right now, going to be finishing up pretty soon. You'll put out the fertilizer, hit them in the next 6 weeks, and you're good.
Yeah, it used to be azaleas would be more of a spring color, but now with the multiple blooms, you can get it right during the middle of summer, which is nice because a lot of times you don't necessarily have a whole lot of color left right in the heat of the summer.
Yeah, and then again at the end in the fall. But what you said, if you don't use the fertilizer, you're not going to get as much bloom because it uses up so much energy, like you said.
Yeah, how about watering? Any difference in how it's
Not really. What you want to do is just make sure it's well-drained soil. You're not laugh and talk about the moisture meter all the time. But it's one of the best things for $10 to have in your toolbox.
Yeah, just to make sure that, because you don't want to overwater.
No.
As you said, sometimes people love their plants to death, and you can water, and it makes it look worse, and sometimes people think it's not getting enough water, and they water it even more.
Especially out here, west of 430, or you guys over in Maumelle, we have some of the worst soil around, a lot of clay. So you got to be really careful not to overwater, especially that first couple of years. Let those roots get out in the soil, and then they'll be fine after that.
All right, that's about all the time we have for this week. Join us back here next week for the Good Earth Greenhouse. More gardening tips from the Good Earth can be found on fox16.com. Click on Professionals to watch previous episodes or to ask Greg a question about your garden.
This segment is sponsored by the Good Earth Garden Center.